Welcome, guys. Happy Tuesday. It is Payday Tuesday, Transformation Tuesday, and I always love this call. This is a call that I pretty much grew as a promoter, hopping onto. Really, it's a little bit different from the usual calls that we have that are like about opportunity and stuff. It's really in the grind and in the trenches, and you get to hear people's stories and where they go through their promotership journey. And my name is Jackie. If you guys don't know who I am a 200K LV Millionaire Award recipient. I have been thriving for a little over 5 years now. And yeah, I've been driving for 5 years now, and it's been an amazing ride. I've been on this call several times myself as well. But I was asked, by, our team basically to, hey, can you help out and call up one of your girls? And I'm like, you know what? I would love to. I would love to take that opportunity. So I picked somebody today. Her name is Mimi. She is on here today, and I'm going to let her introduce herself. But, just to, you guys are on here right now. Um, I'm actually detoxing today. I'm going to share that with you guys. I have my thirst in front of me. We are getting ready, right, for our next lifestyle getaway. Vegas is just around the corner. So for some of you guys who are heading there, really exciting stuff. I will see you guys there. What else? Do we have any housekeeping that we should probably go over before anything else today? Other than Transformation Tuesday, Lavelle has an opportunity called today. What's that sticker? Forget who's hoping. I think it's Brittany Plunkett. She's going to be on sharing. So if you guys have potentials or anyone that you guys need to share this opportunity with, definitely push them to that. Okay, push them to the resource. Those resources are there for a reason. So it's always good that we utilize them. But I'm going to kick off this call, and we're going to introduce Mimi. So Mimi is a 40K. She's out there in Boston, and I'll let her introduce herself and the rest. And I'm going to ask her some questions and stuff. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to type it into the chats, and I will go ahead and kick this off. So Mimi, go ahead and introduce yourself. Who are you? Where are you from? What do you do for work? And tell us about like what your daily life is like.
Hi guys, so I'm Mimi from Boston. For work, I am a restaurant owner and I am in the events industry as a wedding planner and decorator stylist. My daily lifestyle right now is very, very hectic. My restaurant is just getting opening is in building process right now. So everything is just lots of transitions, lots of running around, and I am just trying to find the time to balance everything right now. I started Thriving about 4 years ago and promoting for almost 3 years now. By January, it'll be 3 years.
Oh my God, 3 years. And yeah, that is just so crazy. So tell us okay, how did you discover Thrive? Take us back to the beginning. I know your story and it's a really good one, but how did you find Thrive?
Okay, so actually, I was watching a couple of strangers online. It was 2019, and I kept seeing Thrive pop up from our West Coast girls. I'm from the East Coast. Around here, I never saw Thrive before, and a lot of the people in my network has never heard of Thrive. It was very new here. And I saw it a couple of times on social media, didn't think anything of it, but I did read it, every time I saw it, I read it, I'm like, yeah, whatever, skip through. And it wasn't until the end of 2019, you guys, they say that Thrive finds you when you need it the most. And that's how I found Thrive, you guys. Everything around me, my world was crashing down on me. I mean, business wise, life, personal, I felt like everything was falling apart, and I was just at a time in my life that I really needed change. So I thought that weight loss would have make me happy, and I remembered Thrive. So I actually reached out to the girl that I seen posting it, and she didn't answer me. So I tried to find someone else, and that's how I found my beautiful sponsor, Nikki. So I reached out to her and I was like, oh, do you promote this thing? And she said, yes. So I started asking her 21 questions, and she knew I was skeptic, and I'm so grateful to her because she actually offered to send me a 3-day sample. So I got the sample and I was a day one Thriver. So day two, I purchased $530 of Thrive, which was 8 weeks, you guys. I told myself I'm gonna do 8 weeks of this, go all in, buy the all in pack for 8 weeks and be done. And 4 years later, I'm still thriving. I actually never got onto AutoShip too because I was still very, very skeptic. And she kept telling me, get on AutoShip, you're gonna get it for cheaper and everything. But I was like, you are not getting me on no AutoShip, okay? That was my mentality at the time. And yeah, I've been thriving for 4 years since. She always told me to refer it and to 2 friends to get it for free. And I never did for an entire year. I was her #1 customer, you guys. I was always actually how I became a promoter. My account was actually a promoter for that whole year while I was a customer because I seen all the girls like posting this package deal where you get like whatever the 400 pack for 240. I'm like, how do I get that? And they told me it's only for promoters. I'm like, well, I'm a promoter now. So that's why my account was a promoter, but I was a customer for an entire year. Yes.
That is so funny. And I always love hearing this story because, I'm going to share because, Mimi is on my team. There's a couple people in between us. And it's funny because she was in all of our inboxes, you guys, before she actually, I think she already had a free account, but she was in all of our inboxes. So we were posting about double, triple fast starts, right? And then she was like, how do I get this deal? How do I get this deal? And Twin and I were like, wait a minute, are you thriving already? Because we always ask the question, do you already have an account, right? And then she did have an account. So we had to shoot her back to Nikki, who's on our team. And it was just crazy. So we had this very curious customer, you guys, floating around our organization, just like in all of our inboxes, right? And like I had caught wind of her at that point, and I just remember going to telling Nikki, and I was looking at Mimi's page, you guys, at the time. And how many followers did you have when you started thriving, Mimi?
I had like 600 followers. My account was like private and I recently switched it. Usually when I share stuff, it's like to close friends and everything too.
Yeah, so she had like, just a little bit of followers, right? Like that's probably a lot for some of you guys, but 600 is pretty much like probably what you built through like school and like friends and friends of friends. And like, like Mimi was married at one point. She had like that relationship. She's in a new one. Like, you know what I mean? So when you are networking, you're constantly adding people to your network. So it's really just close friends and people in proximity. And when I found Mimi, because she was in a lot of our inboxes. I told her upline, I just told her, I'm like, hey, this girl has a really good network. And I could tell because when I was going through her page, I saw that she was somebody that went out to like a lot of like girls' dinners. She had like, she had pictures with like multiple girls. And for me, whenever I see that, it's so funny. If I see somebody like that who just joins my team as a customer, I am literally in my team's inbox, like, oh my God, like, look at this girl that you just signed. Like, she would be an amazing promoter. Like, make sure that you like kind of drip the opportunity on her, because if she sees it, like, that could be a whole new network for you. So that was who Mimi was. And it was so funny because she was a little bit of a complicated customer. How she says she was a skeptic, believe it, okay? Because I remember Nikki in my inbox, like, oh my God, but she's so difficult. But then like she's in Twins inbox, I want a deal, right? But she's curious but difficult. But those are the best ones, you guys. And I want you guys to really, if you guys have somebody who's asking a lot of questions or somebody who's really curious, they will always come back around, right? Sometimes they'll like ghost you for a couple of hours, but then they'll be back and they'll come and buy the package, right? Those are honestly the best ones. And I just remember telling Nikki one day, and I'm like, you know what? I'm like, she will be really good one day. I'm like, take a look at her network, right? She looks like she has credibility with her friends and stuff. I'm like, the crazy ones are always the good ones, right? And then like, she's one of the crazy ones. And I remember one day when, Mimi finally turned on, and I'll let her tell you that story because it's all a blur for me, right? I had a really big team at the time. And when Mimi came on, it was just like, it was crazy, right? But I remember Nikki telling me, like, oh my God, Jackie, you were right. You were so right about her. Like, you were right. And I don't know what it is. I feel like I'm kind of like a talent scout. Like, yeah, I'm kind of a talent scout, right? I can see it. When I see a thriver, I know a thriver. And Mimi was one of those people. So yeah, anyways, let's like, okay, since you hit promoter, did you get your VIP bonuses? Did you know anything about them, or like what happened?
Okay, so no, I didn't get my VIPs because I was actually a promoter the whole year as a customer. I actually missed out on a lot of bonuses, and even during the Operation Winning that happened in 2020, I missed out like on the leaderboards. I would have been second ending on that if my account was customer and switched over. We actually contacted support to try to like change it, but they were saying that since I was active as a customer buying, that they couldn't do anything about it. So yeah, I didn't get VIPs, you guys, but actually, but back to my story before I became a promoter. I guess Nikki, my sponsor, was telling me to promote for the entire year, and I literally told her like that whole time, I'm like, no, I don't ever see myself doing this. I told her, I'm way too busy, and like my mindset at the time was like, I no. I'm like too good to do like promote or something. I don't know, like, everybody has their perception. And yeah, it was what inspired me was actually it really started to change me as a person, you guys. I did it for weight loss. I thought it was weight loss the entire time. I had no idea what Thrive really was. And it really started to change me. And people like during COVID, I would post on my stories, and even my close friends, they would message me and say like, you're glowing, like what are you doing? People saw how much weight I've lost. I lost so much weight, but people also saw how I was glowing, and I literally felt like my eyes opened up again, you guys, because prior to that I was so exhausted, like I was going through life. And yeah, I was always exhausted, and every single day I remember running off of 3 cups of coffee a day. And I would be saying, I'm so exhausted was a term that I would say like 10 times a day, you guys. But when I started thriving, even though I wasn't on auto ship, I would always buy it when it ended, because I knew, although I didn't see the weight loss at first, I knew it was doing something for me. And then it was Friendsgiving in the end of 2020. A couple of my girlfriends came over actually, and they asked me again, like, what are you doing? I'm like, okay, so I need to put my girlfriends on. I put 2 of my girlfriends onto the products, and I watched them thrive day 1, day 2, day 3, month 1, and they were glowing, you guys. So one of my girlfriends, she's a kindergarten teacher, and she's dealing with a lot of kids, and she told me like she felt so good. It's like she has so much patience to deal with all the kids. And my other girlfriend, she just had a newborn, and she told me she felt so good that she actually put on a dress and did her makeup to go on a date with her husband. And I was like, wow, like this is like that was the belief for me, right? I'm like, wow, it's not just me, like this really is the thrive, like this really is amazing. And I'm like, why aren't I sharing, and I really thought to myself, if I could help even just one person who is feeling like how I felt and how this product helped me, if I could help one person, like cool. And I remember hopping on to the welcome call with Jackie too, and she asked me like, how much do you want to make from this business? I'm like, make money from this? I thrive for free. That'll be cool, and yeah.
She was very nonchalant, and I actually remember, because there was a shift in her, because obviously, like I was saying, she was that customer that was in all of our inboxes, right? The customer in all of our inboxes. And then one day she said, I think I want to promote this. And I don't know if she got me on a call with one of her first customers, but she did tell me I'm like, because she had been around for a while, and I'm like, what changed? And she's like, honestly, she's like, I went somewhere and my girlfriend's noticed. And I'm like, how long were you like thriving for? She's like, probably thriving for about 6 months, and somebody else noticed. And I just thought, okay, like, well, I should tell them about it because they're asking me. And yeah, and she had those first two customers, right? That they felt the changes, and it was when she saw them change and them feel amazing that it turned her on. So it's really important, you guys, to share, right? You can't just keep this experience to yourself. And luckily for her, the products were working for her, that people actually noticed and they asked her, but she wasn't telling them, right? It's not like she was in people's like she's first a product of the product for her people to notice. And then, when they asked, they're like, she's like, oh my God, I should tell them. And then that's when it turned on for her. I do remember that moment. I forget the girl. I kind of remember who it is, but I forget her name. But yes, that was pretty much what turned it on. And honestly, I've seen a lot of people who join this business, they join it for themselves. They're like, yeah, you know what, I'll promote it, whatever. But it's not until they have a power leg under them or somebody's life that changes dramatically and it really impacts them, right? It impacts them, it hits them at the soul where they're like, damn, right? Like this is literally why I'm doing this. That's when they figure out what their why is. And it's usually not even about them sometimes, right? So anyways, Mimi had that moment. And then, so she didn't get VIP bonuses, which, I didn't either, you guys. I have a very similar story where I signed up kind of as a customer, didn't want to be on auto ship. And like when I was actually a promoter for like a whole year before I actually even promoted at all, like even talked about it, even knew that the opportunity was there. I was the same. I was like Mimi. I would have been on leaderboards. I would have had fastest growth. I would have had all those things had I not pressed the button just because I didn't want to be on auto ship, right? So really similar, when you did actually start promoting, how quickly did you go 4K, 12? Like how long did it take you to fly through some of those ranks?
I did go 4K in the first 2 weeks, 12K 2 weeks after that. So it was like in the first month. And then 40K was like about 3 months in.
Oh my God, that is so crazy. I had no idea because honestly, like the team's so big and we see people like hitting ranks and like flying through and stuff. I do know like Mimi, when she did turn on, she had like, highest PPA in my team for like a very long time. And your numbers, you guys, are always gonna change. Okay. Your numbers in this business will always change. Sometimes you're gonna be the enroller, sometimes you're gonna be helping your team enroll, right? That is a part of leadership that we all have to embrace, right? Don't be so infatuated with the numbers. Really think about who you're helping, right? How many people are you helping, right? And then, yeah, I didn't know that. I didn't know you went to 4K that quick in 12. And there's a lot of people that do, you guys. If you guys are following certain systems, like VIP, for example, and just getting people on Thrive, it is very duplicatable to go like 4 and 12 in the same month, 45 days, whatever it is, right? Like that is a really good sweet spot, somewhere where you have momentum. So no, but wait, when did you get any bonuses with any of those things? Were there any bonuses that were out at the time?
Yeah, so when I went 40K that time, I did hit the Operation Winning. It was during that time, yeah.
So if I remember correctly, I think her Operation Winning was 100% payout,
Mhm.
which is crazy, you guys. That is honestly a life-changing check. I was someone who, I didn't get VIP bonuses in the beginning, but when those rank advancements came around too, I did snag the 40K and the 80K paid out at half, right? So really similar. If you guys are able to get any of those bonuses, it is absolutely life-changing. And Lavelle does it on purpose, because once you get a taste of one of those bonuses, you get a taste of freedom, right? You get a taste of freedom. There's a lot of opportunities out there where people don't earn anything from their phones, right? You have these like affiliate things and like, people get a discount code, like they barely earn anything. You have to sell a lot to a lot of people and you do it by yourself, right? Here we have the opportunity to actually like build a team, impact lives, right? Share an opportunity where somebody can out earn you, right? Really amazing stuff. But when did your belief kick in for yourself and in this business? Well, I know when you wanted to like promote, but like, I know you went through a lot of hardships in the beginning of your business. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
You name it, I probably went through it. So since it was so new on the like within our network in the East Coast and in Boston, I met a lot of hate, a lot of skeptics, and I even lost friend groups. And aside from those challenges, I did like even challenges within me. I felt like when I started this business, ooh, like the self-development had to come in, you guys, because I feel like, imposter syndrome and fear of failure, fear of judgment, and everything was like coming down at once because it was so fast, you guys. And it was really like, I really had to like buckle down and like really stick to like my why and remember why I started sharing. And it was the community too that helped me through it. And I remember when I was going through it, Angela saw and she reached out to me and she like, tell me what's going on. And I started telling her, aside from my personal issues, I was going through a lot, you guys. Like, I'm talking a nasty separation, divorce, like restraining orders, custody battle, like all of that, right? I was going through all that in the back end and then starting this business, and everything could have like it was a lot, but it was the community that really like came in for me like during that time. And I just stuck close to the fire, you guys. I was on all of the Zooms, like doing personal development myself and with the team. And it really helped me overcome everything. And I feel like because of all of that that's happened, like it really changed me, like it really helped me like mentally and everything too. So I feel like I'm completely transformed, like different person physically and mentally because of this promoter journey.
I mean, it has been a long time. And when Mimi first started, like kind of going back to that welcome call, okay? So she came out of nowhere, right? She had a little bit of belief with like, and I just remember asking her, doing my normal thing on welcome calls, like, like, how's your Thrive experience been? Like, how much time do you have for this business? And I asked her, I'm like, how much do you want to make? And she kind of like just looked at me like, make money? Like, yeah, okay, but like, I don't really care to make money. Like she just told me straight up, I don't care to make money, with this bright smile on her face, you guys. And that was literally like that kicked it off. And then she came in like fast, right? Like doing all these things. She actually already had a qualifying car. So when we were making, like, here's another thing too, a little thing for you guys with like leadership. When you guys have somebody that joins your team, like one of the main things, what I will tell you that has made our team very successful is celebrating. Okay, celebrating like every little thing, the VIPs, the banners. Like when somebody hits something, we constantly make banners. So when new people come in and they hit those achievements, like within an hour, right, the banner is out. We're celebrating them. They are literally 100 people on our team are celebrating them, their sidelines and stuff. And that happens, right? So Mimi was one of them. She had a qualifying car already when she went 12K. She took a picture because she she's really, another thing about Mimi's journey is she really started to come out and show herself on social media. I'm going to have you talk about that in a second. But she took a picture in front of her qualifying car that she already had. And a little bit about, Mimi and her story. Like I knew she would be a good promoter. I just could see that. Over the years, I went to go visit Mimi several times in Boston. So has Twin, so has Angela. She's on our team. We've thrown her events and stuff to go out there and support her. And, like Jason Camper has always said, okay, Jason Camper has always said in our leadership meetings, you guys, if you guys are leaders in this company, go visit your team. You guys cannot be in a relationship with somebody and not actually see them in person, right? Whatever that looks like. So for me, I traveled to her. I've slept in, where have I I've slept at her place like several times, and but something that like when I stay at people's houses and stuff, right? You get a feel, and last summer I was telling Angela this, I love staying at my team's houses because you get to see their why. Okay, you get to see why they're doing this business, you get to see their family, you get to see their kids. That's their why, right? When you see their kids running around and hugging them like at the waist or whatever, and the things that they have to do every day, that's their why. I went and stayed at her place and went into like her dining room, right? You can see her college degree right on the wall, right? And like what she's saying, I never thought I would do network marketing, right? Most people don't. Mimi actually comes from a really good family. She's got a college degree, right? She is an entrepreneur. She comes from an entrepreneur family, right? When she first started like thriving, she started like right before pandemic, right? So she started right before pandemic, and back then she had a little bit more time on her hands. And like yeah, and it's funny, she just posted yesterday that her restaurant is finally gonna kick off the ground. But what a break you had, right? Like you actually wouldn't have had the opportunity, right? Like that, like right now, like that came at the perfect time. But yeah, she had some time to build this business while she had like you still have your other things and stuff that are going. But yeah, tell us about like okay, so you already reached 40K, and then you started a business with your hubby, right? How has that been for you?
It's been crazy. It's been hectic because now like I really want to focus like I told myself that I was gonna do a 90-day run when I started promoting. I was like, okay, 90 days, I'm gonna go all in and then focus on my other stuff. But you guys, it was like literally 2 years. And when I first started the balloon business and events, I was some days like be sitting there crying doing balloons because I'm like, I don't want to do this. I felt like I wanted to focus more on that because this is like what I feel passionate about, like when I get those messages from customers or when I see the glow up from my team and everything, like I love it. It really does bring me joy. So this is like what I really want to focus on. So right now, like since I have to do this more part-time, yeah, it's been just a lot of transitions and I'm learning to balance it all. So I would work this now in the nooks and crannies of my days and just a couple minutes at a time whenever I find the time to squeeze in. And then on like once a week, I would do it like for the full day or for like a couple of hours type of thing. So yeah, it's been busy.
It has been busy. So, Mimi, during this last little bit, they started an events business. So they make those really amazing balloon backdrops and stuff. And they are really good at what they do, you guys. But a good thing about, being an entrepreneur, like she's gonna get to meet people. She's literally at those events setting up with people, and she might know maybe the host, or people might come through like referral, but she's getting exposed to brand new networks all over around her city and stuff. So yeah, really amazing stuff there. What else was I gonna say? Something about, let me think. What else was I gonna say? But yeah, busy, busy, busy. If you actually watch her stories though, she does incorporate Thrive. And I want to encourage you guys, because some of you guys do work, right? Some of you guys have either your 9 to 5 or you have other businesses and stuff, but it's so important to continue to be consistent, right? Like still posting about Thrive, you are still thriving, right? The reason why you have so much energy to do certain things is because you are thriving, right? Tell us about so like, well, tell us about social media, okay? Because I know that like, when you first started, you had like 600 followers, right? You were not posting ever. She used to not post, you guys, like literally maybe just still photos on her feed. So tell us about like how your social media grew and like really like your experience with it. Because I know that your social media, you're one of the people on our team that is able to sign random people from like different states, and that is like your gift. So tell us about it.
Yeah. So when I first started sharing, I knew that I had to go beyond my network of friends to, beyond. So I had to work smarter. So I utilized our Instagram, and I did a lot of reels in the beginning. That's how I grew. And then once I was able to figure out my niche and my target market, once I had a following, right, of people who kind of like knew who I was, kind of watching me daily, that's when I went in and started showing my personality, learning how to open up more so that people got to know me more. And then really from there, building a relationship with people and getting them to try Thrive. And then right now too, since I'm in this transition where I have less time, it really forced me to work smarter, meaning again, going back to social media, because that's how you can really like speak to the masses with doing less work, right? If I was out here trying to go belly belly with everyone, like I just don't have time for that. I don't have time anymore. So I have to be able to use my social media. So you see me moving differently again. So now I'm doing more reels again and trying to attract and expand my network again. So my followers did grow within the last couple of months since I started my events business. It probably grew like another 8,000 since I've been focusing on that too. So there's always like seasons and different ways to work the business depending on where you're at in your business.
That is incredible. And honestly, like doing that, you're bringing in a brand new market. And that just shows you guys, if you are busy, like, take the time. It doesn't mean you're posting real time. I'm sure Mimi does not post real time. I'm sure it's just like, and a little tip for you guys as well. Like I'm super busy. I have the kids all the time, or like every other week. And we have activities 4 days a week, you guys. And yes, I'm a present mom, but I also bring out my phone and I like, film some stuff. I put it away. And then when I have a moment, at the end of the day or whenever, I'll start like posting some of the stuff. So I post every single day, the things that I do. It's not necessarily real time, but it's like almost, right? It's like within 24 hours, I will post some of those things. But tell us about, really interesting. Okay, so like Mimi, your social media grew, and I'm always curious because I'm like, how does she know this person and that person? And I know that she meets them online and stuff. Do you feel that the way that you're posting and stuff, do you feel like your algorithm is feeding these people to you? And then like what happens? Like do these people just like fly into your algorithm because of what you're posting, or do they find you, or do you find them, or what happens?
I just follow people who follow me, and then I'll reach out and go into their messages, and then I'll start interacting with them. I have no idea how they find me. It's mostly through reels. I don't know if it's, I don't know. I don't know what the algorithm is doing. It's always changing. So
Yeah, and it's just consistency, really, right? Like if you are posting and you're showing up, and for some of you guys who are on here, you guys might be thinking like, oh my God, I hate social media. I don't like posting on social media. And fine, okay, like just try to do what you can. I always tell people, work the platforms that you are most comfortable working, wherever your network is mostly at. But with social media, what was I going to say? I was going somewhere with that, with Instagram. Pardon my detox brain, you guys. I just like the thought was there and then it left my brain. Something about reels. I don't remember. Damn it. It'll come to me.
I also do hashtags sometimes. So I wonder if that's what's bringing them in. So sometimes I'll hashtag Boston, Cali. So I think that's why like sometimes the network ends up being like the same.
I mean, it definitely does. It definitely works. Like it does. Like intentional hashtags definitely work. I actually signed a 12K just from posting that I was in Hawaii. So, and she's still with me. She's going to be my guest for Lifestyle Getaway. So do not do certain things, right? Like you don't have to overdo certain social media strategies, but definitely don't like leave it off the table, right? Like I've literally signed a 12K. She's still with me. She's coming with me. And then yeah, what else was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. I forgot. But so social media, yes, it is. Damn it, I forgot what I was gonna say. Sorry guys, in my detox brain. I think that's pretty much it for challenges and hardships. But it's been a couple of years, right? It has been a couple of years in this business, and what I have seen you step up as a leader like so much, right? Like this business like definitely goes through seasons, and everybody grows at their own pace. But like just recently, I've seen you step up as a leader, and there's going to be different times in your business, right? That like it happens. But what are you doing now that has like changed from like what you've done in the beginning? Like, that's really caused you to step up and lead.
Mhm. So when I first joined the business and as fast as I grew to 40K, I lost it really fast too because I was not ready for it. And I think my mindset at the time was just on getting people on Thrive. I wasn't really thinking of building the business and making it last long term. So I was flipping everyone. I was flipping everyone. I wasn't very like intentional with who I was flipping. And just like that, I made it sound like it's really, really easy to in the beginning. I'm just like, it's so easy to do, right? And it's actually not. So you know, as fast as people joined, they fell off too. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong? I don't get it. I didn't get why people couldn't sign people on, why people couldn't flip promoters and everything. And I really had to learn that, you know, you have to be able to lead everyone differently, love people where they're at, and really plug people into the system. So I really learned how to plug people in. And yeah, I guess that's what really changed. I also started really being intentional with who I was bringing in on my team. I started speaking it more on social media, like trying to attract the right people. I wasn't flipping everyone. I wanted everyone to align with like why I was doing it too, like to have a strong why and to really love Thrive and to really want to help people too. So that's how I attracted, like, you know, they always tell you that the first team, the first, like all the people who took you to this rank the first time, the next time you go to that rank again, or if you lose rank, it's going to be a new team, you know, and it really is true. So I like really focused on like flipping the correct, like being more intentional with who I was flipping. And now we have a team that's like more connected and more about helping others and have a strong why. And yeah, it's that's really what
I definitely see the difference, and
yeah.
I have more questions. So I know we have until like about 10. So I got some more questions and stuff from Ange too. But you know, when you started, what was your first lifestyle getaway and like your experience?
First lifestyle getaway was at Cabo. It was Cabo that Ange invited me to as her plus one. Yeah, and that's when I flew like 10 hours by myself to meet like a group of strangers, you guys, and it really opened my eyes to this community and the business, honestly. It really, like when I went there, I got so inspired, you guys. I met one of our uplines. Her name is Crystal, and she's like an entrepreneur too. So I really related to her, and we sat down and had a conversation for like a good hour. And when I came home, I was so inspired, you guys. Started seeing this more as a business, and I'm like, man, I want to be able to bring my team too. I want to form a team, and I want to bring them here and show them like what I see, you know. And yeah, that's really when the vision came to me.
So funny, you know, flip side, okay, because I know that when Mimi came, like it takes a team effort, you guys. You know, Ange brought her as a plus one because at that time, I want to say like you're like top PPA, and were you 12K when you went on that trip or no? Not yet. Yes,
Yes,
probably, right? Because it was fast.
yes,
Yeah, so she was a 12K already, and it really is a team effort. We literally did the same thing to Ange too. You guys, me and Crystal did the same thing to Ange. You know, we had spots left on our plus ones and stuff, and then like, you know, me, Tiny, and Crystal conspired, right? We're like, we're bringing Ange on this trip, and like we were separated at getaways, you guys, and then it was the same thing, right? Ange was our plus one, you know, we made it all happen. We made it happen together. Crystal went in, she had the conversation with Ange, like, you know, she turned her on, right? She did the same thing to Mimi. So it really is a team effort, you guys. And it's like, it's not a coincidence. You know what I mean? We're not just out at these getaways, just like fluffing around and partying and drinking, right? We're actually getting intentional, connecting with the people we're taking, right? That is literally the key, right? How these getaways and stuff, it's not just a party. It's literally for the belief. Like, do you want this for the rest of your life, right? We're here as a team to like pour into those people. You know, some of you guys who are on here, you guys probably already know, like if you guys have sat next to like myself and Twin or between me and Ange or whatever, we're tag teaming you. We're tag teaming you and putting belief into you. Like, look, you're not going anywhere. You're going to do this with us, right? Like, do you see the vision? We're going to come to your city. So yeah, she went on that getaway. what else? And then like, what you're saying, like, why I wanted to really get into this is because I saw the shift, right? Like after, what was Cabo? That might have been like a February or something, but the very first Thrive Palooza you went to, you had quite a bit of people from your team come. Tell us about that. Do you remember how many people came with you?
I think I had like 5 on the team come along. Yeah.
And their boyfriends and
Yes.
husbands, which
Yes.
was crazy because it wasn't like, it wasn't that long. Like I want to say she started promoting like late in the fall, right? And then business started to pick up. And Thrive Palooza, you guys, is just in April. So it was a really short window of like, you've been promoting like solid for like 4 months, right? 4 or 5 months. And she was able to bring that many people with her to conference, right? That many girls, that many husbands. Like that is some really powerful stuff, you guys. So I just remember, because obviously really big team, we're all over there, and then all of a sudden like Mimi rolls up with a crew and I'm like, wow, you got this many people to come with you to conference, like, which is crazy. So how do you get your team to move with you, right? How do you get your team to like actually come with you to these things? Like what do you tell them? Like what is the reach out?
Oh, well, it's basically just the fact that they need to show community more. They need to be around us because I feel like with me, that's what happened. Even as a customer, what inspired me to promote was because my sponsor connected me to all of the uplines. So I was watching Twin, I was watching Jackie and Angela, and like taking little bits and what I related to each person, that really started to inspire me because I'm like, like I see myself like they're like me. Wait, like they're cool too. Like I have to hang out with them, and then I see them like on the stage and doing this and doing that, and I'm like, little like just being around the community really inspires. So I would always tell my team that too, that if they want to be able to grow in this business and have a team of their own too, that they have to be there and they have to inspire others to come along with them and take their team with them.
I mean, it is definitely not a light gesture, right? For any of the girls who joined her and went to those like lifestyle getaways or conference or whatever, going to certain locals and events. Something I want to share with you guys is that a lot of them did not even have a rank yet, right? They were not even at the 4K rank yet, or maybe they had just gone 4K. So it really, like, that level of commitment, it comes from connection, right? They're coming because of the connection that she's been able to build with them. They're not just going to come like out of nowhere, and they're not going to come if you don't ask them either, right? So it is really important. Do not judge what somebody will and will not do. Okay, like if you are going to conference or whatever, reach out to your person enrolled, reach out to anyone who's thriving on your team, let them know. Just be like, hey, Thrive Palooza is coming up, are you coming to conference, right? Like those are things that, like, and then further, like, there's also lifestyle getaways and stuff. I know she's qualified for every lifestyle getaway. I don't think she's missed. Have you missed any yet?
No.
Right, she's
Mm.
been to every single one since she started, which is amazing. And then yeah, so Ange says, huge congratulations, her team earned their own spot in Vegas. Yes, and that is the next step and question. Okay, because she always brings a +1, and she has, like, some girls on her team that qualify as well. But I think this lifestyle getaway, it being at the 4K rank, you had a lot of, like, pretty much all of your working team has qualified for this getaway on their own. Yes. And
Yes, pretty
and
much.
they're all coming. So this is going to be a really big lifestyle getaway. And for you, like, how many are going, and, like, they've got +1s and stuff.
Hmm. I think I'm gonna meet 3 of them in Vegas. Yes.
And are there any that you haven't met in person yet?
Yes, so it's Jen and Brianna.
Okay, so she's got people going to lifestyle getaway, you guys, she's never met before. And me too, right? Like, there's girls that are going to lifestyle getaway that we've never met before. They're literally online friends. And how did you meet these girls?
Oh my God, all through social media. Yeah, all through Instagram, you guys. So Jen, I saw, like, I think I was browsing reels one day and I'm like, oh my God, she's so cute. So I added her. and just started talking to her and offered her a sample. I think she started on a sample, and that was it. Like when she started um thriving, I think she loved it, and she's always doing reels, you guys, Jen. So she was already showing up with her sticker, and I'm like, you're already promoting. Why don't you promote? And then now, you guys, she's going to I'm gonna be able to meet her in Vegas. And then Teresa, she's I also met her through Instagram, but she lives about an hour away from me in Lawrence, Math. And yeah, she was my number one customer for a year and a half. She was like one of my very first customers. And now she's also qualified and bringing her husband. And then Brianna, yeah, she's been thriving for like a year and a half. She's from Florida, actually. So I've never personally, like, we never got to meet yet either. And she also qualified, and she's bringing one of her customers.
That is incredible. I didn't even hear who Brianna's bringing yet. We need to make that customer a banner. I know we don't have one for her yet. But honestly, just hearing this is incredible, you guys. Like Mimi went through hardships in her own network, right? Where her own network was like too cool for Thrive. So, okay, well then go create a new network. And that's exactly what she's doing, right? Oh, there's another one, Brittany, she's on here right now. Also somebody you didn't know prior to Thrive, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It is so crazy.
She's also from Massachusetts, about an hour away. And yeah, it's just an hour away. But we also met through Instagram, I think through Reels. She told me she saw me on a reel.
That is incredible. And honestly, like I have come across a lot of people that have told me like, oh, I saw Thrive from, you know, that girl Mimi. I'm like, yes, I know Mimi. So yeah, it is really, funny, but something that you have in common with a lot of people, right? Like, Mimi, is that your network was like so skeptical about Thrive. Like, yes, maybe some people come that are like really, really close to you, that know you and love you dearly. But same thing with Twin, right? Same thing with Twin, and same thing with Angela. Like their businesses were not built by the people they know, like, and trust and love, right? It wasn't. It was just random people and them showing up and putting themselves out, right? And you are gonna attract who you are, right? Like I know she's talking about like Jen. Jen is somebody who's constantly on reels and dancing and, just like that light and energy. So she's attracting that. Me, on the other hand, I'm a little different. Like I actually did build very strong in warm market. All of my business partners are like boss babes and like, stuff. It is different, but everybody is going to have something different to bring to the table, right? And if you guys have even an ounce of like creativity and like you guys actually like being in front of the camera, you guys have a huge opportunity to grow, like some of the girls that do use social media. Okay. Yes, Twin says don't prejudge. You just never know, right? Like you cannot judge somebody how much they'll spend, what they'll do, because we could have been that. We could have just been like, oh, Mimi doesn't post on social media, she's too cool, she's not going to do this or whatever. But no, I was like, I told her sponsor, I was like, you better like talk to her about like this. She's like, I am. And it's been amazing. Her sponsor is actually, she's so sweet. Mimi's sponsor, her name's Nikki. She's super sweet. She's a nurse, you guys. She's very, very like into ingredients. She's super beautiful. Like she's just like, when you see her, you're like, oh my God, she's kind of like, she's just super pretty and like super cute. And anyways, Ange says that Mimi is quick to apply. And yes, Mimi, it actually, what I remember and know about Mimi throughout this whole time and journey is that when she has a question, she asks right away. She's in my inbox, she's in our inbox and stuff. Yes, Nicole she did earn Vegas and she's still active. She just had a baby, you guys. And her upline, how you show up for your team is how they're going to show up for their team, you guys. Mimi, or not Mimi, Nikki was pregnant and she was still hopping on welcome calls. She was like huge pregnant, like hopping on, like no makeup, welcoming Mimi and her team and stuff. It's just that's just like, that's the community and stuff that we build, right? But what else was I going to say? Was there something else I was going to say? I'm excited, Lifestyle Getaway, you having that many people and some of them actually Like you don't even, we've never even met them, right? We have never met them. That's the power of like online business and community. And it takes a lot, you guys. Imagine being that promoter, right? I know they're on here right now. Imagine being that promoter. You guys have never met your upline. You've never met your upline in person. You've never met this community in person. You've literally been plugging into a screen, right? With these little square boxes every single, day or every week, right? And I want you guys to really think of, I had this aha moment at Thrive-Palooza. People like after I walked for a stage, right, for Millionaire, people were like, Jackie, how do you feel like now that you've earned, whatever. And I'm like, honestly, like that doesn't even matter to me. Like what matters to me right now and what I feel is that I'm in a room or I'm in proximity with 100 people in the Thrive-Palooza lobby, right? This is so crazy to be around 100 people versus like being around 100 people on a Zoom, right? It's a completely different feeling when you actually get to the event, when you actually get to where, being around the people in person. Like right now, there's what, 50 something people on this Zoom. Imagine what a room would feel like with 50 something people in it and they're all thrivers and just the energy and stuff that brings. So for some of you guys who are going to your lifestyle getaway for the first time, you guys like, oh my God, I am so excited for you. I'm so excited for you. I know it can be overwhelming. And I always have to like bring myself back to like what it is like to be a brand new person, to be around all these new people. Because after you've been around for a while, it just becomes like natural, right? You're like, oh my God, we're here. Like there's like so many people. And we forget about the person who doesn't know a soul there besides like you, right? But it definitely like it's gonna be quite the experience. Hopefully, in Vegas. And another thing, like with Vegas coming up, I know that some of you guys are going to be going for the first time. You guys make sure to take lots of pictures, make sure not to get too wasted. Remember that you guys are working, really be intentional about your trip, right? Meet some of like, if you guys see somebody, definitely like introduce yourselves, like take pictures and stuff like that is literally what it's about. And yeah, you'll be having a baby. Oh my God. We have a lot of girls that have been there, lots and lots and lots of girls. Are you literally going to pop at that time? It is so funny. Pregnant thrivers. We gotta love pregnant thrivers. Okay, so next thing, okay, before we we're gonna start wrapping up. One piece of advice, well, maybe two. Okay, so Mimi, what is your one piece of advice for somebody just getting started?
Do it all scared. Do it all scared, you guys. Every single level, like new level, will require a different version of you. So every time you're scared, good. Like you're about to break through to another level. So yes, do everything scared.
And then next one is give us a piece of advice for somebody who maybe has been around for a while but feels stuck in this business. Like have you ever felt that way? And what is your advice for that?
Just keep going. Don't quit, because every time you're about to go to a new level, like you're gonna feel like another issue is gonna come. It's just a part of life and a part of business. So learn how to ride the waves and the seasons, and just always stay true, be authentic to you, and remember your why. Go back to the beginning, how you felt, and why you started sharing. And remember everyone, your team that's depending on you, that trusted you, and always focus on all of the good, because sometimes we could easily get distracted by all the noise and overlook all the good and the growth and all of our growing team and everything under like all the good that's going on if we look at the negatives. So always focus in on the good.
And then, okay, I'm trying to think of what else. Does anyone have any last questions for Mimi? I think I have one more. I think I have one more. But if anybody has any questions, like pop them into the chats, because we have a little tiny bit more time, probably room for like one or two. But how do you stay so consistent? Like I know that for like, and what do you feel is the most consistent part of your business? Like out of all things, what is your strong suit that you feel like, of all things that I'm very consistent with this?
Just helping people, because that's what lights a fire in me. When it comes to customers and seeing them grow, and also when I see my promoters, the growth in them as they become more confident in themselves, and as they do all the personal developments, and grow, just like life in general, just seeing people flourish and light up, like yeah, it brings me joy.
I definitely see a difference in your team, like just being able to watch you grow. Like, obviously you had some kind of credibility, some kind of network. I remember one of the first things I went to, when I went to certain like not lifestyle getaways, I went to Mimi's town, right, to just like host a local for her. And when I was getting to know the people, when I was connecting with everybody, I was like, who's your sponsor? Like, who signed you up? And everybody was like, Mimi, Mimi, Mimi. And I'm like, oh my God. And I would ask them, like, how do you guys know each other? And it would always be like, there was a lot of them were like, oh, I met her through, like my ex, or, something. There was some kind of like link. And it's not even like direct friends. It's just people that you meet along the way, you guys. So that was when I went to go visit her in person. It was crazy. It was so crazy. And, when you experience that, when you see, somebody on your team who has that kind of influence, right? Everybody's saying, oh, Mimi's my sponsor. Mimi's my sponsor. It's like, wow. Ange has some questions. She says, what is your why and mission in all this? Like, no matter what, it circles back to that. And what gets you actively inspired and consistent? Good questions.
Oh, for me.
Yeah.
What is your why and mission in all of this? Like, no matter what, it circles back to that. Honestly, this business and community has helped me break through with so much. I, for the longest time, never had time freedom. I've always worked. I've always been really ambitious, straight out of like college and everything. And even as a teenager, you guys, as young as 9 years old, I was working in the family business. So I felt like I was always kind of like restricted on this, like, like image and whatever. I was not free in that way. And in this business, you guys, I felt time freedom. So like before, it was considered like a luxury if I could at least travel once a year. And then since starting this business, you guys, I probably traveled more than I have my entire life. Yeah, and not just that, just with when we're personal, like doing all the personal developments, and with my mindset, I feel so free now. Even though I went through all of that, I've lost some friends along the way, I feel so free and so light that I feel like I just want that. I just want the freedom that comes with this. And I want to be able to be there and help the next person, whether it be, with their weight loss and feeling better, like the way the products has helped me, or if it is the community and seeing them evolve and flourish and be able to become more confident, like the kind of like the journey that I took, like it inspires me too. So that's also one of my whys in this business.
And then what gets you actively inspired and consistent?
It's just like I mentioned before, it's just seeing my team, seeing my team right now, like just everyone growing and flourishing, and watching them change, and watching them like aligning more in this business, and watching them qualify for their own lifestyle getaway spot, bringing their guests. Yeah, that inspires me.
Yes. And honestly, I said it in the beginning, like a lot of people in this business, they stick around because they have a team, right? That is inspired, and they catch the vision and all that stuff. And I definitely see the difference with your team today versus your team when you first started. And it is a really important thing, you guys, to actually lead and lift your team up from the bottom up. Okay. So I want to just share that piece of leadership with you guys. If for any of you guys who are serious enrollers, and like, you guys are signing people and then helping your team, it's a different kind of build when you build from top down versus building from bottom up. Okay. And some of you guys that might fly over your head, but it's just like, it's different when your team earns it. It's different when you teach them the skills. It's different when you teach them how to catch the fish and you don't just give them the fish, right? Yes, we have an amazing, we have resources and we can help people, but it's better when you guys meet halfway, right? That's part of what teamwork is. It's like, everybody's fishing together, right? And you guys are all eating together. It's not like you're giving them the fish or like they're just bringing you fish, right? Like it has to be, there has to be like some reciprocation of energy, and like that's what makes a really good team. So I definitely see that different now. Mimi, you have such an amazing team of girls right now that are like growing, and it's literally just the beginning. It's not about like how quickly people are flying through the ranks, right? Everybody here has their own Thrive experience, like first personally with the products, and then second with the opportunity, and then with the community, and then all of the other stuff starts to come in, like the really deeper whys, and like so it's been such a blessing and such an honor to see you grow. And I want to thank you for hosting this call and doing this call with me. We had like a million questions going back and forth and stuff. And I think that's it, you guys. We just got paid. It's 10 a.m. We just got paid. Make your payday posts, compliant payday posts, of course. Make sure you guys block out any numbers and stuff, or even if you don't use numbers at all, like you can just post like the little email and stuff and share, we got paid today. I did share this on Zooms like in the past little bit, you guys. Right now is actually the perfect time to talk about opportunity. You know why? Because the first of the month just passed, and a lot of people just probably paid their rent. A lot of their people just probably paid large bills and stuff, and their bank account is probably looking a little slim, right? So talk about, what this kind of payday is doing for you guys. We have such an amazing opportunity here, okay? That if you, get in certain sales, like between now and Sunday, you guys can get paid on the following Tuesday, and it's just that simple, right? There's not really a lot of opportunities out there where you can generate income that quickly. And the only way to offset bills, you guys, like the cost of living is never going to go away, right? It doesn't even matter if somebody's debt free, like cost of living is always there. We need to help people, right? We need to help people, show them the opportunity. We cannot just be in this major fluffy mindset where it's just product, right? We have an opportunity here. So make sure that you guys are talking about it. And then last thing is that Mimi, she did have a very amazing glow up, you guys. It did not happen overnight. She was thriving for quite a while before she started seeing results, right? And it wasn't just about like yes, she wanted weight loss, but more so like just her face is different. She's glowing, right? And you guys, like, she also lives a very like pretty healthy lifestyle, right? She did implement going to the gym and using that energy and pouring into herself so that she can pour into others, you guys. Don't forget about yourselves, okay? Do not forget about yourselves. Like, yes, you guys are taking the products, but make sure you guys are helping those products too. Because when people see you change, they're going to be inspired to make change as well, okay? So anyways, happy. Yes, she's an introvert like me. You would never guess, but yes, I'm an introvert too. It's just, and the thing is with introverts, you guys, another thing I'm going to say before we get off this call is everybody has a job, okay? Everybody has a 9 to 5 or a career. And most of the time when you guys do have those jobs and positions, you are good at what you do, right? It's no different here. Yes, I'm an introvert, but like Thrive has become my job, my lifestyle, my career, and it's something that I'm good at, right? So you're going to be good at whatever you apply yourself to, and that's exactly what we've done here. That's why we've been able to open up our hearts, our minds, and everything to people and inspire them, because we have gotten good at being a thriver, right? Helping people and such. So anyways, happy Tuesday, you guys. We will get this recording out. Thank you guys for hopping on, and yeah, bye.